Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope that you're doing well. I'm filming this on Christmas Eve. Now, obviously it's not coming out on Christmas Eve, but that's when I'm filming it. I actually told myself I was going to take the day off. And I got some downtime and I thought, let's go ahead and do a little video where I talk about some fragrances that I was maybe too harsh toward. So fragrances I maybe wasn't overly impressed by or didn't really like for one reason or another, that over time, given some space and hindsight, I've thought, maybe it's not that bad, maybe. So let's jump into it. Let's check these out. No in-depth breakdowns or anything like that today. Just going pretty quickly through these, and actually I'm going to cheat and go ahead and give you a 6 instead of 5 because why not? Which one to start with? Let's start with this one. Valentino Uomo, born in Roma, Yellow Dream. Terrible name. One of the reasons that I did dislike this one a lot is just the name. Like I said, Valentino Uomo, born in Roma, Yellow Dream. That is a terrible name. I brought this up when it first came out, but Yellow Dream sounds like you pissed yourself while you were asleep. Who thought that was a great name? I mean, maybe, just something lost in translation to English, but born in Roma, Wet Dream. It's about that bad. So there was that. And then there was also Valentino taking the Uomo line in a completely different direction, which is actually something we're going to talk about later on in this video, but I'm not a big fan of that either. You go from the hazelnut and the iris and the leather of the previous entries, and then this. It's a big change. And then the last thing that kind of sealed it for me is that this has a striking similarity or resemblance to the Stronger With You line from Emporio Armani. So it was just like all these things, terrible name, the line going in a different direction, and then the resemblance to another popular line. It was just kind of like, what are you doing? But I gotta say, the fragrance, for what it's trying to do, does it really well. If you're looking for a compliment puller, attention grabber with that sweet gourmandy touch that's gonna work very well in fall and winter, here you go. And it's got a good amount of versatility to it as well. It's not just like a nighttime only fall and wintertime fragrance. So in that sense, I'd say the vast majority of people would say this is more versatile than the original Valentino Uomo line that I like so much. So it's easy to hate on it for the reasons that I brought up, but if you can kind of look through that and see what they were making the fragrance for, who they were making it for, yeah, they did a really good job on that. Up next, JOOP HOMME. Yeah, good old JOOP. Look at that. That's a classic, boy. Now, I've always maintained that this is a classic and should be respected as such. And I've also maintained I absolutely hate the way it smells. I've said before that it has this apocalyptic performance, just gut-wrenchingly, nose-blindingly sweet to the point that it gives you a headache and just makes your mind shut down, like a cough syrup of death turned into a fragrance. That's basically how I've always thought of it. So when I smell this, I would just immediately kind of retch. Hated it. And that carried over to an extent with Montblanc Individual and Creed's original Santal. Those fragrances also never been a big fan. But something weird happened over the years. I went back and smelled this again and I thought to myself, it's actually not as bad as I remember. Thought maybe I was going crazy. So I went ahead and sprayed it on skin and I wore it and kind of liked it. So that was strange. I don't know. I was questioning everything, questioning all my beliefs that I held. But in further testing, if you want to call it that, and revisiting the fragrance, I actually think I've come around to kind of like it. So for as much as I've said about that one, and I've said a lot, and I honestly hated the way that thing smelled, the last couple times I wore it, not bad. I don't know if maybe it's the change in temperature outside. Maybe I didn't give it proper wear in the cold. I don't know, but coming around. Let's get this one out of the way. Dior Homme 2020. This is like Valentino Uomo, right? Not that it smells like it, but they took the Dior Homme line, completely different direction. This smells nothing like the original Dior Homme, nothing like Dior Homme Intense. It is its own thing, and I was not a fan of that. I was one of those old dudes on a stoop, you know, yelling at the sky, yelling at kids. You know, back in my day, Jerome had iris and he was classy, not any of this modern trash. So that's what I did. I just kind of knee-jerk reaction. I was gonna hate it no matter what. It was one of those things where I was just not going to accept the change. You know, it didn't matter what they put in that bottle. Could have been majestic, just you know, some angelic, holy perfume overflowing out of this bottle, and I would have been like, sucks. And eventually, over time, I gave it more wear, and I had to just kind of take a step back and look in the mirror and go, hey, you're kind of a jerk off about that. Crapped all over it before I gave it a real chance. So that was my bad, and I've talked about that numerous times on this channel. I've owned up to it. So I screwed the pooch on this one when it came out. Totally messed that initial review up. I've owned up to it a bunch of times. Loved your HOMME 2020. It's modern, it's versatile, it's sophisticated. I think it's a great release. Now something a little different, Alien Man from Mugler. Now, funny thing about Alien Man, people for the longest time were clamoring for it. Mugler, give us a dude's version of Alien, please. Like everybody, well, not everybody, but Mugler fans, they were asking for it. And Mugler dragged their feet forever. And then they finally said, your wish is granted. When it came out, everybody went, I can't wait. Dude, it's gonna be amazing. Whoa, nice atomizer. I can't wait to smell. Oh, it's on my tongue. Oh, it was still in the air. I shouldn't have done that. Tastes like I just drank a can of Aquanet hairspray from the 80s. That one came out, people weren't pumped. People were, I guess, expecting something other than what this was. They were maybe wanting something gourmandy, which Mugler does very well. And instead they got this with dill and anise and osmanthus, kind of leathery feel. They didn't like it. I didn't like it either. This is a fragrance that has had to grow on me over a long period of time. And it's not that it's the most challenging thing ever, because it's not. I mean, when you spray it on, it's not like, oh my God, it's so complex, you know? But it is different as far as designer releases go, especially mainline designer releases from big houses. So that was one that I didn't even care to wear, frankly. I didn't even think it was worth a video. I was just like, oh, no, thank you. Just kind of pushed it off to the side. And same with Alien Man Fusion. Didn't like that. But over time, you know, you kind of get drawn back to it, and then it grows on you a bit. You think to yourself, wow, you know, Mugler, they took a chance. If nothing else, they took a chance. And it does serve a purpose to be kind of a weird change of pace compared to a lot of these other designer fragrances. I actually really respect it now. Next, Jimmy Choo Man. This one I crapped on is just kind of a basic, stupid men's fragrance. And I mean, that's kind of what it is. Yeah, but I didn't really give it the full respect it deserves. You might be thinking, it doesn't really deserve any respect, does it? Well, yes and no. It does smell a little bit like Montblanc Legend had a baby with Bleu de Chanel with less performance. Yeah, it kind of smells like that. And Coach for Men that came out afterward also smells kind of like this. But one of the things with Jimmy Choo is it's very affordable. This is a fragrance at discounters you can typically get a full presentation of for $30 US or less. Sometimes you can get it even down around $25 or so, but at that price range, most fragrances are not great. A lot of them are frankly not something I would want to wear ever. And even though Jimmy Choo Man is not maybe the most exciting thing on earth, when you consider the versatility that it has and the wearability it has, where so many guys, whether younger, middle-aged, or older, can pull it off in all these different situations, 25 bucks. That's nice, especially if you don't have a lot of money to spend. You know, it's easy to kind of say, oh, it smells cheap and crappy. But if you're a guy out there with a really limited budget and you want something that's, you know, just super pleasant, like I said, Legend meets Bleu de Chanel, a dumbed down way to think of the fragrance, but still, it's great. It's from a brand people know, Jimmy Choo, so you've got that little bit of cachet there. Presentation's nice. Atomizer's good. It has a pressurized blast, and it smells really pleasant. So yeah, it's easy to tear that down, really easy, you know, oh, uninspired, oh, it smells derivative, blah, 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 all these different things. Yeah, while some of that may be true, you have to think of what it does good as well and how many people it makes happy. So I kind of forgot to bring those parts up. And last but not least, Montblanc Explorer. Oh boy. Creed Aventus designer style, basically. At the time when it was full retail, going for close to $100, I believe, it seemed not amazing. And then over many months and many wears, it grew on me a lot. Yes, it's obviously inspired by Aventus, but on its own, it's still a very nice fragrance. And for the price it goes for nowadays, it's a steal. And that's another one that I have talked about very favorably over the years after that initial review, where I kind of took some shots. And while I do think it's enormously obvious that Montblanc did basically just knock off Aventus in their own way, all you have to do is look at the coloration on the presentation here and the little leather wrap they did as well to know that's what they were doing. But even so, I can't really fault them. I mean, look at the retail prices on Aventus nowadays. It's nuts. Somebody can buy Explorer if they want an Aventus style fragrance from a legitimate brand as compared to, you know, your clone brands like HOMME and so on. And they can get it for a darn good price and wear it pretty much anywhere, anytime. So Explorer, my bad. There we go, guys. Technically 6 fragrances that I was maybe too harsh on for one reason or another. Now, some of these I still like more than others, but still yet, sometimes I get lost in the sauce and maybe forget to present some of the other viewpoints on a fragrance that maybe I don't like. Like with Born in Roma Yellow Dream, instead of thinking, you know, there are gonna be some guys that love this for these reasons, instead of that, I would just be blinded by my own, you know, take on it and say, nah, it sucks, it's total crap, everybody should hate this. So I'll try to be better about that. You know, sometimes it's hard, but yeah. All right, I'm gonna go and spend more time with the family. Stay safe out there. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video.